Hi, and welcome everyone to Math with Mr. G. Today, we're going to be talking about how to solve equations using addition and subtraction. Now, I know you've seen a little bit about this before in previous chapters. Today, we're going to go a little bit more in depth with how to do that. So, we're going to start off with a little bit of vocab. It says two equations are equivalent equations if they have the same solutions. Remember, solutions is another way to say answers. The addition and subtraction properties of equality can be used to write equivalent equations. So what are those properties? Well, here we take a look in the key idea, and it says adding the same number to each side of an equation produces an equivalent equation. This is that idea of the balance beam. Whatever you do to one side, you need to do to the other. This says, for example, if A equals B, then A plus C is equal to B plus C. So for example, if I said something like 3 is equal to 3, right? A is equal to B, and I add C to both sides. Well, if I add a number like 1 to both sides, I'm still balancing this equation because I'm adding the same number to each side. So that'd be 4 equals 4. Okay. So that's essentially all these two properties say is that you need to make sure you're balancing your equation by adding or subtracting the same number to each side. Okay, so let's see what that looks like in an example. For letter A, it says solve x minus 5 is equal to negative 1. So I'm going to split my equation at the equal sign just so I can clearly see the left side and the right side. And then I ask myself that question, what is being done to my variable? In this case, my variable is x. And how do I undo that? So x is being subtracted by 5. To undo that, I would add by 5 on both sides. Subtracting by 5 and adding 5 cancel each other out. Those are inverse operations. I'm left with x on the left-hand side is equal to, and then negative 1 plus 5 would give me 4. And I'll box my answer. If I want to check that, remember I can substitute this value into the original equation. 4 minus 5 does in fact give us negative 1. Okay, so essentially we're solving equations the same as we had before, but now we get a little bit more in depth because we're adding some negatives. Let's do letter B together as well. I have z plus 3 halves is equal to a half. So what number plus 3 halves gives me half? Z is being added by 3 halves, so I will undo that by subtracting 3 halves on both sides. 3 halves minus 3 halves is 0, and I'll be left with z is equal to, okay, it might be a little helpful for me to write this horizontally so you can see it this way as well. When I'm adding and subtracting fractions, I need a common denominator, and I have that, so I'll keep 2 as my common denominator. And then I just need to subtract my numerators. 1 minus 3 is negative 2. So that gives me negative 2 divided by 2. Well, a negative divided by a positive, I have different signs, so my answer is going to be negative. And then 2 divided by 2 is 1. So z is equal to negative 1. Alrighty, please pause the video now to try numbers 1, 2, and 3 on your own. For number 1, you should get p is equal to 3. Number 2, w is equal to negative 2.8. And number 3, x is equal to 2/3. Please let me know if you would like to see how I got any of those 3 answers. Moving on to example 2, now we're going to write an equation. The word problem says a company has a profit of $750 this week. This profit is $900 more than the profit P last week. Which equation can be used to find P? All right, I'm just going to break this word sentence down. And my first sentence tells me that a company has a profit of $750 this week. Okay, try to color code the best I can. So $750 this week. This profit is, okay, if you remember, is a keyword for equals, $900 more than. All right, $900 more than. So more than would mean to add the profit last week. And it says the profit last week is P. Okay, and so all we did there is we just broke that down. Do you see any of these equations that look similar to this one that we just wrote down? Well, letter B definitely looks similar. It's notice that the P and the 900 are just switched around like that. But remember, when you're adding, you can use the commutative property to change positions, and it doesn't matter, right? 1 plus 2 equals 3, and 2 plus 1 is 3. That the order doesn't matter there. So letter B is the best choice. And I just kind of took this word problem sentence by sentence and used some keywords to help me write that equation. All right, pause the video now to try the on your own, number 4, and do similar like we did to the second example. All right, number 4 says a company has a profit of $120.50 today. The profit is $145 less than the profit yesterday. Okay, write an equation that can be used to find P. So today our profit is $120.50, and the profit is $145 less than the profit yesterday. So I don't know the profit yesterday. I'm going to call that P, and it's $145 less than that. So I'm going to subtract 145.25. Okay, so there you have it. And we will finish with the real life application here. It says the line graph shows the scoring while you and a friend played a video game. Write and solve an equation to find your score after level 4. Okay, looking at this line graph over here, I'm talking about video game scoring. And your friend is in blue, and you are in green. So you both, notice that you both start off at 0 points, and on the x-axis here is levels. So after level 1, you're at -10, and it looks like your friend is at 15. Level 2, you came up to 0, and your friend also went up to 21, 22. But then notice what happens after level 2. When you get to level 3, your friend decreases, and you pass your friend. And then finally, at level 4, which is wants us to talk about level 4, you have gone way up, and your friend has gone way down. So it wants us to write and solve an equation to find your score after level 4. Well, it doesn't tell us what we're at right here. You know, it looks like we're at 25, but we can't be too sure. We know that our friend is at -8 for a score after level 4. And we also know that you have 33 points more than your friend. Okay, so let's put it this way. Your friend's score is 33 points less than your score. All right, here's your score. There's 33 points between the two of you. Let's see if we can write an equation based on this sentence that we just wrote. Your friend's score, do I know my friend's score? Yeah, our friends ended up at -8. Remember, is a keyword for equal to 33 points less than your score. Okay, to write an equation, anytime you see less than, you need to remember that this means you need to change the order of this. 33 points less than your score is represented by saying your score, which we don't know, so let's call that S. 33 points less than your score, we have to subtract 33 from your score to find that. So here's our equation, and then we just need to solve it. So to solve for S, I would add 33 on both sides. Okay, that would cancel, and I'd be left with S is equal to -8 plus 33 would give us 25. And that would be points. And that makes sense. It looks like it's right between 20 and 30. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if I can explain that one anymore. And then end today by doing this on your own. Please pause the video now. Okay, number 5 on your own says, what if you have -12 points after level 1? Your score is 27 points less than your friend's score. What is your friend's score? Okay, so if you have -12 points after level 1 and your score is 27 points less than your friends, how would you find your friends? Well, that your friend's score would be 15 points. Okay, let me know if I can go over that at all with you as well. That wraps up today's tutorial video on solving equations using addition and subtraction. Thanks for checking this video out. I will see you guys later.